the data type in Excel. So first understand that what exactly the mean by the data type. Okay. The mean by the data type is whatever you write in the Excel. Okay. If you write something on the Excel, how Excel is going to read the user's input, that is basically known as a data type. So if in the Excel, if you write anything, so Excel read in the two formats, or it contains the two kind of a data type. First is the numeric data type, and second is the text data type. So Excel has these two kind of a data types. If you provide any kind of a value, or if you write anything into the Excel, then Excel will read that value in the two different data types only, either in numeric or into the text. That's it. So if you provide any data which contains purely the digits, for example, employee ID or the salary, something like this. So if you provide any kind of a data which contains the purely numeric digits, so this kind of a data will have the numeric data type. And if you provide any kind of a data which contains the text means the alphabets. It means if any number you write, any text you write between A to Z, it means the data which contains purely the text will have the text data type. For example, if I write this CoachX, so it will have the text data type. So if you write any number between 0 to 9, then that will have the numeric data type, and any text if you write between A to Z, that will have the text data type. But if you write any alphanumeric values, alphanumeric is what? If you see, we have a two keywords. One is this alpha, and second is this numeric. So the mean of this is the combination of the alphabets and the numeric values. So if any kind of a data, if you write which contains the text and numeric value both, for example, your PAN card number. Your PAN card number contains the text and numeric both, right? So if this kind of a data you have which contains the text and numeric both, so this kind of a data also will have the text data type. So it means if you write any number between 0 to 9, that will have the numeric data type. If you write any text value which is between A to Z or any alphanumeric, that will have the text data type. But what about if you write any special characters in Excel? Special characters are what? Like space, comma, less than, greater than, does not equals to, hash, dollar, percentage, at the rate, slash, etc. So all these basically are special characters. So special characters also treated as a text data type. Now, so here alphabets, alphanumeric, and special characters all will be considered into the text data type. But what about the date? What about the date? For example, if I write the today's date here, okay, so in the date you will see this slash, or you will see this kind of a hyphen, something like this. So if I ask you that what kind of a data type do we have for the date, so seeing this slash or seeing this hyphen most of the people will make the comparison with a special character and they will say that date is basically the text data type. But no, date is basically the numeric data type. If you see on the top here, it says the date data type. If I just go from here and convert this to the general, it will give you the number. And most of the time, if you have work or if you will work on the Excel, so in the date, you will see this kind of a challenges that date is providing you this kind of a number. Okay, 45381. So date, basically Excel read the date at the backend into the numeric format, but display you can change it. So always remember date will have the numeric data type. Okay. So as I said, date will capture into the numeric format, display you can change it. So for example, today date I have written into this format, or I can also write into this format like 30th March 24. So this is also the today's date. But if you see, if I'm just converting into the general, so both will generate the same number. Look, 45381. Both are generating the same number. So it means the date captures into the numeric format at the back end. Display, you can change it. Okay. Now, the question can come when I'm just converting this to the general format, it is providing me this number 45381. Why this number is only generating, or what is the logic behind it to generate this number? Okay, so the logic behind this to generate this number, which is a 45381, how it is being calculated. So Excel has a calendar which starts from the 1st January 1900. This is the base date, or you can say this is the first date of the Excel calendar. So Excel calendar gets start from the 1st January 1900. If you will just convert this date 1st January 1900 to the general, it will give you the 1. You can see, right? So for the today date, it is giving you the 45381. So it is telling to you that from the 1st January 1900 to till today, these many number of days has been covered up. Okay. When you will go for the 31st March, which is the tomorrow, so it will say the 45,382. Okay, this one. So this is basically the concept that how this numbers being calculated. Is it clear, everyone?
No, I'm confused. Can you repeat again?
Okay. So for the numeric data type, for the date.
Yes.
Okay. So basically, if I talk about this date, so in the Excel, the calendar gets start from the 1st January 1900. Okay. This is
Yeah.
the first day of the Excel. So if today's date, if you are seeing this into the general format, it is giving you this number 45,381. So it is telling to you, if you will count the number of days from the 1st January 1900 to till today, so it means you have covered the 45,381 number of days.
Okay.
Is it clear?
Yes, now clear.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Welcome. So this is basically the data type. And data type also you can capture, or you can get the data type of any user input on the basis of the
So
alignment.
your voice is getting interrupted. Hello.
Uh, my voice is getting interrupted to all.
No.
I
Yes.
Your voice is very low actually.
uh, is it with the all?
Yes.
No, sir.
Ask everyone.
No, I think the voice should be perfectly fine. The connectivity is fine. Others are also facing the challenges.
No,
No.
sir.
No, right?
No. No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So you guys can check the internet connectivity or the audio connections once again at your end. Okay. Yeah. Now, so here, these kind of a data types we have. And on the basis of users input value, you can also immediate get to know that what kind of a data type do we have for this input. So in Excel, in any of the cell, if you will enter any kind of a numeric value, suppose I enter this, and once you press the enter key, it will immediately move to the right hand side. Okay, so if you will enter any numeric values, it will move to the right hand side. So it means the numeric value will have the right side alignment. If you will keep any text value and enter, so it will have the left side alignment. So numeric will have the right alignment, text will have the left alignment. Okay, so in the similar way, you can check it. For example, if I'm entering the today's date here, and if I just press the enter, which side it is aligned? Right side, right? And
Right,
right
right.
side, what in the right side, what gets aligned? Numeric values, right? So it also proves that date will have the numeric data type. Okay, so this is basically the concept of the Excel data type. Okay, now let's come to the count function series. Okay, so in the Excel, we have a series of the count function, and in the count series, we have the count function, count a function, count blank, count if, and count ifs. Okay, now let's understand one by one. So if in the Excel, if you will type anything, so that value which you have entered, so that value will have either the text data type or the numeric data type, or it might be you have not written on any of the cell, so that will be the blank cell, right? Only these kind of the activity, these three activity can be performed in the Excel. So if I talk about this count function, so count is the function which is going to help you to count the numeric values from a range. If in the Excel, if you want to count that how many numeric values do we have in a particular range, then in that case, count function is going to help you. So only it will go for the numeric values. It will not count the text values. It will not count the blank cells. Only it will count the numeric values. So for example, you have this data over here, which is the row wise data you have. And now in each and every row, like in this row from F3 to D3, I want to count that how many numeric values do we have. So I will simply use the function equals to count and just open this parenthesis or the bracket and simply give the range in which you want to count the numeric values. So I have given this A3 to D3. So once I will press the enter, so it will give me the number of count of numeric values which we have in A3 to D3. So if I press the enter, it is giving me the 3 as an output, that between A3 to D3, you have a 3 numeric values. One is this 10, second is this 20, and the third is this 5. Okay. Similarly, I want to count for this next range, which is A4 to D4. So what I will do, the formula which I have entered for this first value, in the right bottom corner, if you hover the cursor, you can see the plus sign. You can hold the left click and you can drag this formula to the downside. So automatically it will drag the formula for the rest of the cells. Or the second way is, the formula which you have entered into the first cell, you can select the rest of the cells along with that only and press the Control D. So Control D basically used for the downfill. It means if you want to drag any formula to the downside, so in that case, you have to use the Control D. So Control D is basically the shortcut key for down fill. And if you want to fill the formula to the right side, then use the Control R, which is basically for the right fill. Always remember the one important concept which I'm just going to tell you, because this is the backbone of the Excel and which we will cover today only. If you drag any formula to the downside, it means Control D I'm just talking about. So if you will fill any formula to the downside, so in that case, your row number will increase. And if you drag any formula to the right side, your column number will get increased. Like in this case, if you see, I have given this range A3 to D3. So A and D are my column and row number 3 is here. When you will drag the formula to the next cell, so your column will remain the same. A and D will fix, but your row number will get changed. So 3 will convert into the 4. It means in the next cell, it will go for the A4 to D4. Just check it. Look. Now in the next cell, if it will go, so it will go for the A5 to D5. See. When it will go for the next cell, it will go for the A6 to D6. Look. So when you drag any of the formula to the downside, your column will remain the same, your row number will keep change. Okay. Now, the second function is the counter. Most of the people call it as a counter, and most of the people also call it as a count A. Both are the same thing. So this counter function, you can see the A keyword. A is stands for the all. All means it will count the numeric plus text values both. So it means if in any of the range, if you want to count the text plus numeric both the values, then you have to use this counter function. So it will not consider your blank cells. Okay. So if I just go for this counter function and if I just give this range, so in this range, including the text plus numeric, both the values, how many values do we have?
4.
Correct, 4. If I press the enter, you can see the 4. If I drag this formula to the downside, so you can see it has given you the output. And now just observe for this row number 5, it has given you the output as a 2 because we have a 2 blank cells and which is not going to be captured by this counter function. Similarly, for the row number 7, it is giving you the 3 as an output because we have a 1 blank cells and which is not going to be captured by this counter function. Okay. So this is basically the count A function or the counter function. Count blank, as the word itself tells you, that count blank, it means it is going to count only the blank cells. It will not count the text values, it will not count the numeric values. So if I use this count blank function and if I just give this range, so in this range, how many blank cells do we have?
0.
0, correct. If you press the enter, you can see the 0. If I drag this formula to the downside, so look, for this row number 5, it is giving you the 2 as an output that you have a two blank cells. Similarly, for the row number 7, it is giving the output as a 1, that in this range you have a one blank cell. Okay. Now, if I talk about that I want to count the text values in the range, text values. Okay. So for the text values, it doesn't mean that I have any function which is a count text or something. No. Here you have to put some business logic. Okay. Some mathematical kind of a logic, you can say. So if you observe, when between the A4 to D4, when you have counted all the values, then what was the output?
4.
4. And when you have counted the numeric values, what was the output?
3.
So 4 minus 3 is what?
1.
And in this range, how many text values do we have?
1.
Okay. So it means the logic is, if the result of the count A minus count if we will do, right? So it will give you the text values or not?
Yes, we will got.
Correct. Correct. So what you can do is, this is count A minus count. If you press the enter, so here if you will drag it, so you will get it that in that particular row, how many text values do we have? Understood, everyone?
Yes.
Okay. Anyone has any doubt in this
Can you,
count? Yeah,
Anup, hi. Can you repeat count A once again?
count text,
Count A.
count A. So
Ha.
in this count A, it will consider your text and numeric values. So if you will give any kind of a range, so in that range, it will count the sum of the text plus numeric values. So it is giving you the total number of count considering the numeric and text in this A3 to D3. So we have a three numeric values plus we have a one text values. So total values, how many we have? 4.
4.
So it
4
is
and
giving the 4 as an output.
Okay.
Clear?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So anyone has any doubt in this? Okay. So everyone, you guys have this file. So just go into this count tab and just perform all these things which I have told you. Just perform these things at your end and confirm me. Once this is done, then I will move further for the next function. So Agastya, this file is already shared by the team. So you can download this file from there.
How to select that formula is equal to numeric? You just have to type here.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
How to select that formula like is equal to numeric? Uh,
Yeah, is equals to count.
You were selecting this formula, right? That drop down.
Yeah, so here you can just type equals to count like this, and you can just open this bracket. For
Okay.
the count, you can type count and open the bracket.
Okay.
I'm done.
Okay, great. So others also?
You're doing.
Okay, okay.
Done, sir.
Done. Okay.
Anup,
Yeah.
in count here we need to count like as cells, right? Like columns wise.
Column wise also you can count, row wise also you can count.
Okay.
Yes, done.
Okay, great. Now, so as of now, you have counted either the numeric values, either the text values, either the blank cell, or the text plus numeric values. So I have not given any kind of a conditions on which you have to count something, right? But now, suppose if I just give you a some condition and on the basis of that you have to count something. But now it depends. I'm going to give you a single condition or I'm going to give you the multiple condition, right? So if on the basis of single condition or the single criteria, if you want to count something, then you have to use this count if function. So this countif function basically helps you to count anything on the basis of single condition or the single criteria. For example, I have given you this data where you have a three column product, city and cost, which tells you that which product has been purchased from which city at what cost. Now, if your manager asks you, please tell me that how many breaks do we have? The count of the breaks manager want to know. So you have a lot of the products over here, but out of all these, you want to get the count of the breaks only, that how many breaks do we have. So that breaks count I want, either that breaks has been purchased from any of the cities or at any of the costs, that doesn't matter. I just want to know only that how many breaks do we have. So what you want to count? Breaks. So breaks is your criteria. Okay, in the countif function you have a two parameter, range and the criteria. So the criteria is something which you want to count. So like in this case, what you want to count? Breaks. So breaks will be your criteria. But where your breaks is existing into your data set? In this product column between A2 to A10, right? So this will be your range. So the mean of the range is where your criteria exists into your data set. And the mean of the criteria is what you want to count. So here I will use this countif function, and firstly it is asking for the range. So in this case my range will be this A2 to A10 comma. Now it is asking the criteria. So what is my criteria in this case? What I want to count? Breaks. So here I will write the breaks in this double quotes. And once I press the enter, so it is giving you the output as a 4, which is telling to you between A2 to A10 range, which you have given, you have a 4 number of breaks. So you can see 1, then this is 2, then this is 3, and then this is 4, right? So you have overall the 4 number of breaks. Okay, and this countif function is not a case sensitive. It doesn't mean that, for example, if in your data set in the breaks B is written in uppercase, but here if you have written into the lowercase, it will also give you the output as a 4. Look, so this countif function is not a case sensitive. Okay, always remember this function is not a case sensitive function, but there should not be the spell error. It doesn't mean that in your data set the breaks has been written, but here suppose you have written the break. So now this is the spell error. So we do not have the break in my data set. We have a breaks, not the break. So if you'll press the enter, it will give you the 0 because we do not have the break, right? We have a breaks. So this function is not a case sensitive, but there should not be any kind of a spell error. And if you observe one thing, here I have written these breaks between the double quotes. Okay, so always remember in the Excel, if you write any of your manual text, then that text you have to write between the double quotes. Again, I am repeating, if in the Excel, if you are writing anything manually, then you have to use that text into the double quotes. Always remember. Okay. Now, so it has given you the count of the brakes. Now, if I will ask you, I want to count the tires, then what you will do? In place of these brakes, you will change this to the tires or not?
Tires, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So every time if I change my product, so every time you have to make the changes into the formula or not?
Yeah.
Right. But if I give the some kind of a functionality to the user to make the function dynamic, that you do not need to make any kind of a changes into the formula. Okay, let's take example. So suppose here in this cell, I'm just coloring the cell only for your reference. Okay, this color is not related to any kind of a formula. Okay, so for example, I said this G6 cell. So in this G6 cell, if you will write anything, okay, or any of the product, so whatever the product you will type it, on the basis of that, you will get the count into the next cell. Okay. So here I have used this countif function and I said, this is my range, comma, criteria. So what is my criteria in this case? I want to count tires. Okay, so it means whatever is written on this cell, right? This one. So if you have selected these cells, that is a G6, right? So it means whatever you will write on this G6 cell, so that will get the count between A2 to A10, right? So how many tires do we have in this range, A2 to A10? If you seen the data set, 2, right? If you press the enter, so you can see the 2, right? Here. Now,
Okay.
if you change this product, for example, if I write the brakes here, look, can you see this one?
Yeah.
Okay, it is keep changing. So user do not need to go every time into the formula and to make the changes. Now the user will simply type here that I'm just looking for this product and it will give me the count. Right? This one. It is clear now?
Yes.
Please, can you explain it again?
So
That
here,
formula thing?
yeah, so here I have given the range of this column A because the product which I want to count, that will exist between A2 to A10. So that range I have given, and in place of the criteria where I was just hard coding earlier the breaks, this time I have taken the reference of this G6 cell. It means if you'll write any of the product on this G6 cell, so that will be get count between A2 to A10. So like in this moment, the tires has been written on this G6 cell, so it will count the number of tires between A2 to A10 and it will give you the output. If you will change these tires to the brakes, then it will start counting the brakes between A2 to A10 and it will give you the count. Understood now?
Yes.
Okay. So whenever on the basis of single condition or the single criteria, if you need to count anything, the count function will come into the picture. Always remember. Okay. So just try this. I'm just pasting this formula here for your reference. This one. Just try this formula, everyone, at your end. I'm just pasting the formula for your reference, which I have entered. Okay. Now, just try this.
Anup, can I
Yeah,
ask you one thing?
yeah. Tell me.
Anup, I just want to, like, there are many formulas in Excel, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as we advance the class, we will learn a lot of formulas. So do
Mm-hmm.
we have to remember the formulas for our smooth working in the near future?
Yes. Look, basically, you just need to understood the concept only. Okay. If you understand the meaning of the individual functions, right? So you will able to know that in which kind of a scenario that functions can come. Because if I talk about this countif function, let's take an example. So what
Hmm.
I said, this function is going to help you only when you have to count anything on the basis of the single condition, right?
Yes.
Apart from this or across this function is not going to help you in any kind of a different scenario, right?
Okay.
This one. So if you understand the individual mean of the function, so it is going to help you. Or if you just type, whenever you type any of the function, like I written this count if. So now it gives you this some kind of a descriptions also. Look, count the number of the cells within the range that meet the given condition. Look.
Yes.
Okay, so it will help you each and every function in the Excel. It will provide, if you hover the cursor or if you select that, it will give you this some kind of a descriptions to make you understand. Is it clear?
Yes. Okay.
Just try this count if function, everyone, and let me know.
Done.
Okay. Okay. So most of the people has done. Anyone who is left with this implementation? Okay. So I think most of the people has done. Great. Now, I have given you the single condition, then you have used the count if. Now, if I give you the multiple conditions to count something, so you have to use the count ifs, that is a IFS. So now, if you have the multiple conditions, and on the basis of multiple conditions, if you want to count something, then you will use this count ifs function IFS. Okay. So for example, the same data set I have given to you, but now the condition I have given to you that I want to count the breaks which belongs from the Bangalore city. So I have given you the two condition that you have to focus on the breaks which belongs from the Bangalore city. So one criteria you have the breaks which is existing in this A column. Second criteria, you have a Bangalore, which existing in the B column, right? So now I have given you these two criteria. So how you will count this? So let me show you. So you will use this count ifs function, IFS. Now it is asking criteria range 1, comma criteria 1. So if you consider your first criteria is a breaks, so where this breaks is existing into your data set? In this A2 to A10,
Product.
right? Correct,
Eight,
product.
8 to
So,
10.
so this is the criteria range 1, comma, now it is asking the criteria 1. It means what do you want to count in this A2 to A10? I said breaks, comma. Now it is asking the criteria range 2. So what is my criteria 2? Bangalore. And Bangalore is existing in which range? B2 to B10,
B2 to B10.
correct? So this is criteria range 2, comma, criteria 2. So in this B2 to B10, what you want to count? Bangalore. So now if I just press the enter key, or before I press the enter key, seeing the data set column A and B, just tell me how many breaks belongs from the Bangalore city?
3.
3. If I
3.
press the enter, you can see the 3. Okay, it means the number of the condition which you pass into your function, where all the conditions will match, that will be considered as a one record. So it is telling to you, you have a 3 records, where in column A you have a break and in column B you have the Bangalore. If any of the condition will not match, it will not consider that value. Okay, like here we have a breaks Bangalore, it will consider. Here we have a breaks Bangalore, it will consider. Here we have a breaks Bangalore, it will consider. But here in this row number 8, we have a breaks, but we do not have a city as a Bangalore, we have a Punjab. So this record will not consider. So overall we have a 3 records which belongs from my conditions. Is it clear, everyone?
Please
Yes.
explain once again.
Okay, so here you have given the two conditions, right? Breaks and Bangalore. So where the breaks and Bangalore will match in the both column, then that will consider as a one record. So like here we have a product as a breaks, we have a Bangalore city. Here your both condition is matching, right? Similarly, in the row number 4, breaks and Bangalore, your both condition is matching. Similarly, in the row number 9, breaks and Bangalore, your both conditions are matching. But in row number 8, you have a breaks, but you do not have the city as a Bangalore. One is matching, one is not matching. So it will not consider. It will consider only for those records where your all the conditions are matching. So it means only I have a 3 record where my both conditions are matching, where we have a product as a breaks and city as a Bangalore. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. Now, if I say I have given you the 3 conditions, that I want to count the number of the breaks which belongs from the Bangalore city, and where you have paid the cost more than 4,000. So I have the 3 conditions now. So similar way, count if you consider the first criteria as a breaks, okay? So criteria range 1, comma, criteria 1 will be the breaks, comma, criteria range 2. So your second criteria is Bangalore, which is coming in column B. So criteria range 2, comma, criteria 2 is Bangalore, comma, criteria range 3. So what is my criteria 3? Cost. So criteria range 3 will be this, comma, criteria 3 will be this. If you close this and enter, you can see it is giving the output as in 2. So it is telling you that you have the 2 records where all your these 3 conditions are matching. So just see, we have a breaks, we have a Bangalore, and we have a cost greater than 4,000. One record is matching. Okay. Row number 9, we have a breaks, we have a Bangalore, cost is greater than 4,000. Second record is matching. If you see for the row number 4, breaks and Bangalore is matching, but do we have a cost greater than 4,000?
No.
No, it will not match. So it will not consider, right? Similarly, in the row number 8, breaks and cost is matching, but the city is not matching. It will also not consider. So it means only you have 2 records where all these 3 given conditions are matching into your data set. Clear? Understood, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So just try this. I'm just
Can you
pasting it.
repeat it again? The third criteria.
ये
मतलब
फॉर्मूला वाला थोड़ा कंफ्यूजिंग है.
Yeah. So in the third, here, similarly, you have to pass the range, comma criteria, then range, comma criteria, then range, comma criteria. That's it. So if your first criteria is a breaks, then you have to pass the range first. So range is A2 to A10, then criteria is G8. Then for the second criteria, the range will be B2 to B10, then the criteria is on the H8. For the third, C2 to C10, then we have a cost greater than 4,000, which is written on the I8 cell, right? I'm just pasting this formula for your reference here. Just try to implement this and see you are getting the same output or not.
अनूप टेल मी वन थिंग, जब हम ये फॉर्मूला राइट करते काउंट इफ या काउंट इफ्स का,
हम्म
तो जब COUN जो डालते हैं तो वो नीचे फिर वो आ जाता है, राइट?
हम्म
काउंट इफ का तो वो
हम्म
सेलेक्ट करते हैं कि हमें पूरा काउंट इफ
नहीं,
राइट करना पड़ता है?
आप सेलेक्ट भी कर सकते हैं। जैसे ये आपने काउंट लिखा, अब
हाँ
जैसे
ठीक है।
यहाँ पे आप डाउन एरो से यहाँ तक आ गए,
हाँ
इसके बाद आप जैसे टैब प्रेस करोगे वो अपने आप ओपन कर लेगा ब्रैकेट।
ओके ओके, टैब प्रेस करना है, ठीक है
टैब
ठीक
प्रेस,
है।
ओके।
अच्छा,
Now just I have pasted this formula for your reference. Now just try to implement that.
I'm done.
Okay. So everyone has done now?
Done.
Okay,
यस।
great. Now I'm just gonna give you the assignment which you guys have to complete it offline. Okay. So in this file, here you can see the tab of this assignment. So here I have given you this data set from column A to column H, and here are the questions. Okay. So these questions you have to solve it. Okay. Now let's come to this today and now tab. Okay. So here, for example, if I say I want to capture the today's date, okay, whatever the today's date is showing into your system, that date I want to capture. So if you do not know the shortcut key, so what you will do? You will start the manually typing like this, correct? But if you want to capture this date directly by using the shortcut key, then the shortcut key we have the control and semicolon. You have to hold the control key and press the semicolon key. It will print the current date. And if you press the enter, it will capture this. So to capture the current date of your system, you have to hold the control key and you have to press the semicolon. Okay. Similarly, if you want to capture the current time of your system, then the shortcut key is control plus shift plus semicolon. So you have to hold the control and shift key, then press the semicolon key. So it will capture the current time of your system. Okay. So if you want to capture the current date of your system, control semicolon. If you want to capture the current time of your system, control and shift you have to hold, then press the semicolon key. Okay. Similarly, in the Excel, we have a one function with a name as a today. If you write equals to today, parenthesis open and parenthesis close, or you can say the bracket open or the bracket close. Okay, you do not need to pass anything. Only you have to write equals to today, bracket open and bracket close. If you press the enter, it will also give you the current date. Now the question might come into your mind, or the question is coming into your mind, if the control semicolon is also giving the same date and today is also giving the same date, then what is the difference, right? So if you are pressing this control semicolon, so this is the hard coded, okay, but this is the volatile. Okay, both gives you system current date, system current time. Okay, this one, and this also give you the system current date. But what is the difference? Control semicolon is a hard coded and today is basically the volatile. What is the mean by the volatile? The volatile is basically a dynamic, you can say. It means if today I have pressed the control semicolon, it is giving me the 330th. Today is also giving me the 330th. But when I will open this file tomorrow, in this B1 cell, it will remain as a 330th. But where I have implemented this today function, it will convert automatically to the 331st. Because tomorrow the system date will convert automatically or not to the 331, right? So it means today function will keep change on daily basis. Whenever you will open the file, whatever the date will show into your system, automatically the today will capture that. But this control semicolon will remain the fix until you again press the control semicolon. Got it?
Yes.
Okay. Now we have the now function. So if you write equals to now, bracket open and bracket close, it will give you the system current date and time. Okay, and this is also the volatile. So whenever you will open this file again, it will capture the system current date and time from your system. Okay, so we have these two functions, today and now, and this today function is very useful function which we will see into the upcoming sessions as well. where you have to go for the the dynamic things. For example, I'm just giving an example. Okay, for example, suppose if somebody has joined on 1st January 2020, okay, and now if I say I want to keep calculate the tenure of that employee. So for example, till today, if that person has covered the 12 example, I'm just giving like that person has covered the 3 years, then here in the number of days, it should automatically keep changing or not, right? So in that case, the today function you can use, or for the aging calculation, for the age calculations, in the multiple scenarios, we can use that one. Okay, where you think that in the formula automatically it should increase on the daily basis. Okay, so in that kind of a scenario, we have to use the today function. Is it clear now?
Yes, clear.
Okay, now now I'm going to discuss one of the most important concepts. So please focus on the screen, because this is the one the backbone of the Excel, which I'm gonna discuss it now. Okay, because if you are not aware from this, or this concept you do not understand, so you will not be able to make the formulas dynamic. Okay, this one. Now, so here we are going to talk about the cell reference concept. Okay, so cell reference, or you can say the freezing concept, or you can say the cell logging. Okay, so if anyone talk about the cell reference, freezing concept, or the cell logging, so all the things are the same. Okay, so in the formula in the Excel, probably you have seen the dollar sign before the row or before the column in the formula. Okay, you guys have seen this dollar sign in the Excel formulas before the row number or before the column number. So this dollar sign actually represent the cell reference. Okay, and to implement this one, we have a shortcut key as a F4 function 4 key you can use, or it depends on the laptop functionality. It might be you have to press the function 4 key along with this
Yes.
function key, right? Okay, now to understand this cell reference, only you have to keep the two things into your mind, nothing else. Only the two things you have to remember. Automatically, this cell reference is going to get clear to you. What are those two things? So those two things are this one. Okay, so I have told you this one, that if you just go for this control D, if you make any formula to the downfill, your row number get increased. If you go for the control R, your column get increased. Only these two things you have to remember, nothing else. Okay. Now, if you take the reference of any cell, for example, I'm just talking about the A1 cell. So in Excel, each and every cell is the combination of the two things or not? One is a column and second is a row.
Row.
So in this A1 cell, A is what? Column, and one is
Row.
row. Correct? Now, we have the three kind of a cell reference in the Excel. The first reference is